You've said in the past few days that the Trump civil trial verdict is, quote, an attack on America. You know, he's been ordered to pay $454 million to the state of New York. Why do you say it's an attack on America? And is this why you're saying that? Or is this why you're supporting him? Because you want someone who is supportive of you buying TikTok?
No. Don, don't even put those words near your mouth, because I am not a partisan investor.
Kevinoleary just obliterated Donlemon in a confrontation that's sending shockwaves through media and politics. What started as a debate turned into a complete takedown, and O'Leary didn't hold back. This feud has turned into a public reckoning.
I am not a partisan investor. I am bipartisan. I spend almost 10 days a month right now walking up and down the aisles in Congress. Every congressman and woman and senator knows I support small business. I talked to him. I said, look, I want to buy TikTok. I understand it's a national security issue. Are you okay with me buying it? He said, I don't know what the Senate's going to do. What are you going to do about that? I said, I don't know either. What do you think? He said, I don't know. You're going to have to wait to see what the Senate does.
What happens when a Shark Tank billionaire walks straight into a CNN ambush? You get a standoff so tense it could slice through steel, and one man walking away without a scratch. Donlemon came in with that trademark gotcha tone, leaning forward like a hunter zeroing in on prey. Across from him sat Kevinoleary, not rattled, not defensive, just sitting there with the kind of smirk that says, "Go ahead, try me."
It doesn't really bother me that people are in business for years, then their dad gets elected president, and then they continue to go on in business. We knew we were electing a businessman president.
Well, I'm just telling you, many people, both Democrats and Republicans, do not feel comfortable about the way this is being run.
This wasn't just a conversation, it was a collision. On one side, Lemon was building his case, trying to pin Donald Trump with an accusation that had all the makings of a headline grabber: insider trading. On the other hand, O'Leary was calmly sharpening his counterpoints, ready to turn the whole thing into a live masterclass in dismantling media narratives. And the most fascinating part? This clash wasn't even really about Trump or stocks. It was about something far bigger. The way political obsession can twist even the simplest facts into something explosive. It all started on Easter Sunday. While families were gathering, sharing meals, and kids were out filling baskets with candy, Donlemon was on the hunt. Not for eggs, but for a scandal. The evidence he was chasing? A Trump Truth social post from 10 days earlier, telling people it was a great time to buy. Then came the announcement from Trump's administration, a 90-day pause on tariffs. The markets, which had been shaky, shot up. To the average person, that sequence might feel like just another day of market whiplash. But to Lemon, it looked like the first chapter of a pump and dump scheme straight from the White House.
Nobody would put money or big money to work on a project in New York right now until this circus is over. They got to find out how this is going to play out.
Lemon's narrative was already locked in before Kevin even spoke. He was threading the story like it was fact. Trump makes the call. His wealthy friends know what's coming. They buy big, and boom! Instant profits, while regular Americans are left struggling. The way CNN framed it, it sounded like a billionaire heist executed in broad daylight.
I want to go through everything. Remember, this is streaming. We have a long time. So let's go through your first point, and then you can make your second point, and we'll get it in there.
But then Kevinoleary opened his mouth. And that's when the tone in the room shifted. He didn't shout. He didn't get rattled. He just dropped his first line like a sledgehammer. If you're stupid enough to do this, you deserve to go to jail.
You said that you will no longer invest in New York. I'm wondering if that's just a bluster, or do you think this ruling will truly hurt New York business and real estate?
Kevin explained it plainly, alas, if like Leary was teaching a class. Then came his first smirk, the kind that says, "Is this really the best you've got?" He pointed out the obvious. If Trump had told his friends in a closed meeting to buy before the tariff announcement, that would be one thing. But here, he told the entire world. You can't really call that a secret Wall Street signal.
Does the penalty reflect the infraction? Regardless of the trial, I don't care about Donald Trump on this. Is it right to charge $500 million against an infraction where there were no monetary losses?
Lemon, of course, didn't back down. He pressed harder, looking for even the slightest admission that something smelled off. But Kevin didn't give an inch. Every time Lemon tried to push the conspiracy angle, O'Leary pulled it back to facts. Public equals public. Insider trading requires secrecy. There was none here.
Well, there's never been this law applied this way, ever.
And that was the beauty of it. Kevin wasn't just defending Trump, he was dismantling the entire premise of the gotcha moment. The more Lemon tried to spin the web, the more Kevin calmly clipped every thread until there was nothing left holding it together. By the time this part of the exchange wrapped, it was clear who was controlling the conversation. And it wasn't the man holding the microphone.
You said there's no monetary, and they always say there's no victims, but is that not true? Because it's the taxpayers of New York that did not get the money from Donald Trump, allegedly, or found guilty of lowering the value of properties so that he could get away with not paying taxes.
Kevin knew exactly what he was doing. This wasn't just a jab at Don Lemon. This was a public diagnosis. In one sentence, O'Leary took the conversation out of "is Trump guilty" territory and straight into "is the media blinded by their obsession?" And here's the kicker. When you label it willful blindness, as Kevin did right after, it's not just saying you're wrong. It's saying you're choosing to ignore reality because you're too emotionally invested. That stings a lot more than a simple no. But Kevin wasn't done. He took the emotional charge of that moment and redirected it like a pro. Lemon kept trying to frame it as a crime, and Kevin kept calmly, almost cheerfully, dismantling it piece by piece.
Okay, but listen, but if Trump is found liable of...
He already has
it's a
been.
civil trial.
That's
Okay,
already
so
done.
that's what I'm saying.
He's-
If he has been found liable in a civil trial and he's gone through due process, why shouldn't he pay? Don't you think the government would do this with anyone, or you think it's selective prosecution?
Here's where the facts came in. Insider trading, by actual legal definition, means you make trades based on material, non-public information. It's about secrecy. You know something the public doesn't. You profit off it, and boom, you're in SEC handcuffs. Kevin laid it out in plain language. A public tweet is not insider information. Period.
I'm very proud to be part of this narrative, and it has nothing to do with Trump.
And he's right. Telling the entire world, hey, now's a good time to buy, is about as private as shouting it from the top of the Empire State Building with a megaphone. There's nothing inside about it. This is where Kevin's sarcasm started to shine. He might as well have said, "Breaking news. Billionaire confirms sunshine is bright. SEC opens investigation." Because that's how absurd the premise was starting to sound.
Don't you think he deserves, or anybody that gets us in an extraordinary situation should have due process? Seizing assets?
You don't think he's had due process? It's been adjudicated.
And here's the telling part. While Lemon clung to the story like it was the Watergate of Wall Street, other outlets quietly backed away from it within days. They knew it didn't meet the threshold for anything real. But Lemon, he wasn't letting go. It's like trying to prove Bigfoot exists after every other researcher has gone home.
What do they think about the other guy? Do they think that he has the integrity to be president after that performance?
Then Kevin pulled his boldest move yet, the Pelosi pivot. This is the kind of turn in a conversation that makes the whole room go quiet. He said essentially, if we're going to talk about ethics in trading, why stop at Trump? And that's when he dropped the example that no one in mainstream media likes to touch: congressional insider trading. Nancy Pelosi's name hit the air, and you could almost see Lemon's posture shift. Kevin pointed out how Pelosi's husband made a $1 million buy in NVIDIA options just before Congress voted on subsidies for the semiconductor industry. Oh, and let's not forget when they dumped Visa stock right before the DOJ announced a lawsuit against the company.
Welcome back. Time for the Hot Topic Buzz. Nancy Pelosi's financial gains. Wow. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi recently backing a ban on trading for lawmakers and senior government officials, despite the fact that her net worth reportedly increased $140 million.
Now, here's the shock factor. Pelosi's net worth? Estimates go up to $285 million. Not from inventing the iPhone, not from building a billion-dollar startup. This is a lifetime politician whose main career has been passing laws. And somehow, the family trading account looks like it's run by Warren Buffett's ghost. Kevin didn't have to spell it out. The subtext was crystal clear. If you really care about rooting out unethical financial behavior, the conversation can't stop with Trump. It's got to include all of Congress, the Republicans, the Democrats, and every career politician who somehow beats the market year after year, like they've got tomorrow's newspaper sitting on their desk today.
But if he has been found liable, which he has, then why shouldn't he pay?
That's the genius of O'Leary's move. He took a narrow Trump-focused accusation and expanded the frame so wide it exposed a much bigger bipartisan problem. It wasn't about defending Trump at all anymore. It was about asking why the media will chase a maybe story about one man, but stay quiet on a decades-long pattern involving dozens of lawmakers.
I'm having fun with you, Don. I'm really
I
enjoying
know
it.
you are. Look, I always enjoy our interactions, and this is the way it should be. People should hash it out and talk.
By the time he'd finished this segment, it didn't feel like Kevin was just winning an argument. It felt like he'd taken control of the whole narrative. Lemon was still pushing for the scandal he wanted, but Kevin had redirected the spotlight to a scandal the audience didn't even realize was hiding in plain sight. And in that moment, Kevin O'Leary stopped being the Shark Tank guy and became the guy who just challenged an entire network to look in the mirror. So here's the question that Kevin left hanging in the air, and the one I'm tossing to you. Was Trump's tweet insider trading, or just another media witch hunt? Was this about justice, or was it about scoring a few primetime gotcha points? Like this video and make sure to subscribe to the channel to get more updates.